Let's do some yoga. So, be where you're most comfortable in your chair. Today, sitting on a chair, a couch, edge of your bed, wherever you happen to be. If you're comfortable coming to the edge of the chair without losing balance, feel free to do that. If you're more comfortable sitting back toward the edge, so you've got some trunk support for stability or pain control or whatever, please make sure you take care of yourself. Remember that I can't see you as well as you can see me. So please take care of yourself. Remember, there's no pressure to do any pose that isn't comfortable for you. I see Bo nodding. He knows the routine. But just making sure that you're being aware of your own comfort and your own safety as we go through practice today. So let's go ahead. As I said, be wherever, either at the front of the chair or supported back today as we begin our practice. I'm just sitting up nice and straight and tall, feeling where the sitting bones are. So kind of rock back and forth. Find out where you are on your sitting bones this morning, maybe forward, back, side to side, whatever it feels. Notice if you're bearing weight unequally and to your capacity, kind of equalize that as much as you can. You know, we're all asymmetrical. So as much as you can, just equalizing that weight. And then once you've found that position in the middle, let yourself be still in that position. Have your knees kind of straight out from your hips as much as you comfortably can, your feet underneath your knees or your heels underneath your knees. And just placing the hands face down or face up on your thighs, whatever feels good for you as we begin this morning. Let's go ahead and soften the eyes or close them, whatever feels comfortable for you as we begin to go inward this morning. And so as we begin class today, just kind of notice first where you might be holding some tension. Honor whatever it took for you to get to class this morning. You know, getting up in time or hurrying through breakfast or getting dressed or not getting dressed, as we talked about. But honor whatever it took for you to get to class this morning. Thank your body as we begin. It's doing the best it can. And so as we begin this morning, see if you can let the breath soften just a bit. Notice if you're breathing high up in the chest, maybe in a hurry to get to class, and see if you can, with every exhalation, begin to let the breath settle. Settle a little bit lower in the lungs, gently nudging those lower outside ribs with each inhalation. Notice that when we allow our bodies to begin to land, and sometimes using the breath as a tool like we are today, notice what the body feels as that begins to happen. Where does that sense of grounding come from? Is there a sense of lightness on the other side? Maybe the places where you tend to hold tension become a little more pronounced. And so you can just gently invite those places to soften just a hair. Maybe some of those places that hold tension are holding it for a reason. Maybe that's what's holding you up. Use this gentle and non-judgmental discerning as we move into our practice today. Really just observing without judgment the experience of your body right now, right here, today. And you might just say, this is where my body's at today. the breath, excuse me, let the breath continue filling those lower outside ribs, maybe a little more emphasis now to the back part of the body. In yoga, we talk about that as being the west side or the quieter side. Soften the mouth and the eyes. Soften the inner ears if you haven't already. And now very gently draw the sternum towards your chin. Lengthen the back of the neck and allow the chin to drop down toward the sternum, toward the breastbone. Take a couple of breaths here, recognizing what you feel in the sitting bones and the feet as you raise the chest. If you comfortably can, bring your hands to the center. Gently press the hands together at the midline. Honor again what it took for you to get to class today. Thank your body. And prepare your mind and your body, for they are not two, to do yoga. And let the hands come back down to the thighs, palms facing up. Raise your head and open your eyes. All right, lovely, lovely. All right, so let's go ahead and start this morning. Just placing our hands on our knees in any comfortable position, however it works for you. Let's go ahead and start by grounding down through the feet. So pressing down any amount through the feet, really emphasizing that inner corridor of the feet, that inner heel. And as you gently press down, let the spine rise up. So we're moving down and up at the same time. It kind of initiates a breath, kind of makes you feel like you want to take a breath in, doesn't it? So if it makes you feel like you want to take a breath in, take a breath in. What the heck? And then let it all go, of course. And again, pressing down through the feet, grounding down, lengthening the spine, setting the head right on top of the shoulders. Maybe take a nice breath. It doesn't need to be super deep. Sometimes we feel like we want to take these big, deep breaths, but when we take a super deep breath, that actually activates our sympathetic part of our autonomic nervous system. We want to really emphasize the lengthening of the exhale because we want to emphasize that parasympathetic or that rest and digest part. So when I say take a good breath, it doesn't have to be super deep. Just take a nice slow breath in and a slow breath out, not feeling like you need to inflate everything with every inhale. So a couple more nice inhale, exhales, feeling that softness of the expansion on the inhale and feeling the softness of that gentle recoil on the exhale. Pressing down with that inhale and then releasing with the exhale. One more, one more breath here. Good, and release. Let's bring our arms down by your sides as much as you comfortably can. And then let's go ahead. I'm going to put my arms up here so you can see my arms a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and take my hands. I'm going to rotate them so you can see that my palms are facing you now. I'm going to rotate them so the palms are facing up and my thumbs are facing toward the wall behind me. Now, your arms don't need to be as high as mine, so keep your arms where they're most comfortable and you can maintain good balance. I'm keeping mine up so you can see them in the frame here. So now what I want us to do is to take the hands and let them roll back down. Now ground down through the sitting bones and the feet, lift up through the chest, and then let that begin to open the hands back, with the thumbs moving toward the wall behind you. Let that continue to lift the chest here, but keep connected to the ground, and then let everything come on down. Give yourself a little rest. So as we go through these kind of gentle opening activities, I want you to just notice the change in the body from where you felt when, or what you felt when you first sat down this morning, to a position of gradually opening the body as we and we'll get moving here in a little bit too. But just now, let the body slowly begin to open. So again, let's press down through the feet, feel those sitting bones, lift the chest, let that bring the arms out to the side. One or both arms as they slowly begin to rotate, thumbs going back toward the ceiling here. Lift the chest, and it feels like you should take an inhalation here, doesn't it? So go ahead and fill the body with a gentle inhalation again. And then exhale as it all comes back. Bring it all back to the center, be in a seated Tadasana or seated mountain pose here. Couple of good breaths, fingers and thumbs kind of pointing down toward the floor here. And let's do this one more time. All right, so we're going to inhale. Bring those arms up. Go ahead and slowly begin to rotate the palms up so the thumbs are moving toward kind of back behind you, any amount or not at all, whatever works for you today. Feel how that puffs the chest a little bit, but don't let the chest rise without grounding down through the sits bones. So reground through the sitting bones and the feet. Keep that chest lift and see if you can take the hands back behind your body just a little bit, almost as if you were on the edge of a boat, on the front of a boat here. Nice, easy breath here. Soften the jaw, soften the throat. I see some tight throats there. It's easy to do that when you're doing this, isn't it? So soften them. Yeah, I see Pat nodding at me because I'm doing the same thing. That's why. All right. And then let's all drop it back down. So those are the interesting patterns that yoga teaches me to watch, especially with one of a floor pose, a hand to big toe pose. I do that, and it's a pose where my leg is off to the side and my hands off to the side, and I am so tight in my jaw and in my neck when I'm doing that, and I'm like, is this really helping the pose? Is it serving the pose in any way? And it's like, no, but that's where I naturally go and hold my tension, where I brace. And so as we go through our practice today, kind of watch where you naturally brace. Is it helping to tighten the jaw when you do this? Maybe it's a little bit if it helps you for stability, but then once you're there, see if you can let that bracing go and really allow yourself to experience the openness and softness that can come with this pose. All right, let's get moving a little bit. So let's start moving our shoulders. Oh, Poppy, good morning. I see you there on your floor. How are you? Mary Peterson's come. Mary Peterson, it's early in Oregon. You go, girl. Good for you. She's like, yeah, I know. You're telling me. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here. All right. So moving a little bit, let's get going with our shoulders. Just everything moves, and I like to kind of bring the spine into this. So if it feels good for you and you're comfortable, let the spine move too. Maybe you go down a little bit. Maybe you come back a little bit. Bo's having a party there. He's moving in and out of his screen like crazy. I'm loving it. So let your body move, and maybe it likes to go side to side a little bit. Oh, this one always, my spine really feels this one, which makes me know that I'm probably not moving as much as I should in this particular plane. So it's a good one. So let everything just kind of shake out. Good. And let's go ahead again, bring our hands to our knees. I don't know if you guys can see my knees all that well. Bring your hands to your knees or to your thighs, keeping the body stable at this point. So let's keep the trunk in a Tadasana as we start this. Let's just start moving the hands back and forth on the thighs. So we're really just beginning to move the shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists here. But keep the trunk in a Tadasana. All right, because the temptation from what we just did is to let the whole body get into it, and we'll let the whole body get into it in a sec here. So just kind of going back and forth. And now let the spine begin to be part of it, and notice what it feels like, how it changes the whole experience of this movement as you begin to let the spine be part of this. So often in yoga, and especially in Iyengar yoga, and Matt and I and many of our staff are trained in Iyengar yoga, it can be very stern, to put it kindly. So let's let it not be so stern. Let's let it move a little bit. And if it feels good to move the hips with this, or even the head, and take it slowly and almost bring yourself into a little twist as the body begins now to warm up. Remember, the way we feed our spine is by movement. And so we really need to move the spine. So I take a lot of time in my classes warming up the spine, because that's how we nourish it. So nourishing the spine with this gentle, repetitive movement. One more time to each side. And then bring yourself back to the center. And now be in the center. Notice what you feel in your body as we land back in the center. Does the center feel the same now as when we started? Does it feel a little different? Do you have a little tingling? My feet are finally starting to warm up just a hair, and they were like ice cold when we started. So things are starting to move. And notice, again, without judgment, okay, this is what happens. Or maybe it doesn't feel good, and it's good to notice that. It's good to notice that too. So let's keep this, this nice long Tadasana torso, and we're going to take our head and turn it about 45 degrees to one side. So my nose is kind of in line with my armpit here. So I'm not looking way over my shoulder, only about 30, 45 degrees here. Now take the hand opposite the direction that you've turned, and go ahead and place that hand. You can put it on your chair, or you can put it kind of back on your thigh to ground that opposite hip a little bit. I'm choosing to take my palm and put it on that opposite thigh. So my head is turned toward my right, and my left hand is pressing down on my left thigh. You go whichever way you're going now. Now take that back shoulder and let's roll it a couple times backwards. So I'm rolling that back shoulder. And with my third roll, I'm going to keep that shoulder down and anchored to the body. Let that also encourage the sitting bones to come down. And you might feel that little scoop up in the lower abdominals. Press down through your feet and inhale here. And as you exhale, gently take your nose toward your armpit. In other words, nod your head down just a little bit. Don't take it way down. Simply nod the head down. Keep that back shoulder down because it wants to come with the head tilt. Find your breath here. Good. Inhale the head back up and turn toward the center. And then be in the center again. Notice what you feel. Obviously, we need to go to the other side is probably what you feel. So let's go to the other side. So you turn the opposite to the opposite side. Let's go ahead and take that opposite arm and decide where you're going to anchor it. Are you going to put it here next to your body, anchored on your chair? I'm going to put mine on that opposite hip and press down a little bit. So I've got some reminding that opposite hip to stay grounded. You can decide what you're going to do. And I've got my head turned about 45 degrees, of course. I'm going to draw my attention to that back shoulder where my hand is on my hip. I'm going to roll that shoulder 3 times back. 1 and 2. And then this third time, I'm going to keep that shoulder down with the shoulder blade on the back body. Notice if you've fallen into your low back and drop those sitting bones down toward the chair. Press down through your feet. Inhale. And exhale into a gentle nod of the head down toward the armpit, any amount or none at all, whatever your body is feeling today. But keep that back shoulder rooted down. Notice how that provides a really deep stretch to one of the big muscles, big back muscles of the neck. Connects to our shoulder blade, which is why we want to keep that shoulder blade down. And then gently lift the head up on an inhale and bring your head back to the center. And then just shake it out a little bit. Then just move it a little bit. Yeah, because that's really, we're not moving much at all. So we want to move. All right. One of the things that I think is kind of a fascinating notion that my yoga teacher, William, talks about once in a while. He talks about this sensation. And for those of you who are in my Tuesday class, you'll recognize this. He talks about an idea about the cave of the heart, C-A-V-E, cave, like a cave. We've got our heart here, mostly primarily just to the left of our midline. But what about the reflection of that? What about on the right side? So I want you to draw your attention to that part, the reflection of the heart or the cave of the heart on the right side. And I just want you to fill that space with awareness now, because you know how many times we bring our attention to our heart center or something like that. What about the other side? What's going on the other side? And so bring your attention not only to the heart center, but bring it to the other side too. Bring it to the cave of the heart. And I want you to allow yourself to rest there and bring awareness and feel a little bit of support in that sensation. Or a little bit of rest, bringing awareness to and resting in, if you will, this cave of the heart here. So take a couple of breaths with greater awareness to this, not only to the heart, but also to the cave of the heart here. Couple breaths into that awareness. And now begin to spread that awareness out. So start spreading it out through to the tips of the shoulders here, through gently expanding. As you bring it out to the tips of the shoulders, gently begin to bring it down toward the sitting bones too. So you're beginning to bring that sweetness or that sweet awareness through the midline, out through the sides, and then bring the hands down to the sides. And maybe that awareness, that relief comes from the shoulders and comes on down to the elbows. Let it keep moving down through the forearms, maybe just softening and opening the palms here. I don't know if this makes me heat up like crazy. So you'll see you probably might see my head pop off at some point. But anyway, so let that sweetness and that warmth continue all the way out through the hands. And then as we went down through the midline, bring it to the hips and the knees, and then out through the feet and through the soles of the feet, or wherever you happen to be grounded today. So bringing awareness to and resting in the body now. Let yourself rest here for just a couple more breaths, filling the vessel with awareness as we begin to move this morning. And then slowly release and come on back to the center. Rest there. Again, without judgment, just notice how you feel. Notice where your body is at this moment. What's changed, if anything, since you first sat down, or since you first rolled up, or since you first turned on your computer this morning. Let the breath rest in the body. All right, so let's move a little bit. We're going to do some little, sun salutations are something, it's just, sun salutation or a salutation could be any kind of string of movements. So we're going to play with a string of movements today. Now that we've really gotten the body warmed up and spread awareness throughout the body, now let's move. So of course with these, I will do larger movements because I want you to be able to see me. Follow me at any at any way, in any way that you wish. So if my arms are up here and your arms are more comfortable down here, then keep your arms down here, okay? Always choose safety. I'm going to show you the larger movement and you decide where you are most comfortable moving today. So let's go ahead and start off with our hands in the center here. Anjali Mudra. Just taking a breath or two here. We'll move with the breath and I will call out the breaths, inhale, exhale. You don't need to inhale and exhale when I tell you to. If it works for you to follow along with the breath, follow along. And if it doesn't, just keep breathing. That's all I ask. All right, so in here, in the center. Go ahead and inhale. On an exhalation, let's drop our hands down. We'll do 3 inhalations now with pendulating our arms. Crazy word, but I kind of love it. Inhale up. Exhale, let them float down. Inhale up. Maybe they go a little bit higher. Exhale down. Maybe they don't. One more time, just like you're a big bird trying to take off. Inhale as grand as you can. Exhale down. Take one arm up, inhaling up, exhaling. Let's take a little bit of a twist by bringing it either to the lap or across. Inhale it back up. Exhale that arm back down. Arms only need to go up as far as you're comfortable. Inhale up. Exhale, let's go across the body. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Good. And wide arc one or both arms, inhaling up as much as you wish, bringing the hands together, one or two hands into the center, into namaste. We'll do that twice, so sweeping through. Now taking the other arm, if you were using one arm, inhaling up. And exhaling down to namaste. We'll stay in namaste this time. Okay, kind of, sort of makes sense? Yes, no? All right, so we're going to keep going with this. I'll keep it pretty slow. We won't go a lot faster than that. I'll continue calling out positions. Again, if any of these don't feel well, either substitute something else or just don't do them and just wait that and breathe. Don't feel any pressure to keep up with me. All right, here we go. So in the center, inhale here. Exhale, let it drop. Inhale, pendulate 3. Inhale, exhale. Keep it nice and sweet. Inhale, maybe it goes higher, maybe it doesn't. One last time, inhaling as much as you wish this time. Exhaling down. Inhaling one arm up. Exhaling, crossing over. Inhaling, arm up. Exhaling, bring it back down through the center. Other arm, inhaling up. Notice the spine rising here. Exhale into a twist. Keep that spine length when you keep the twist. Inhale, dropping down through the sitting bones. Exhale, bring it back down. Wide arc one or both arms, inhaling up. Exhaling, coming through the center, come all the way through the center with that. Exhale one more time, let's sweep up. And exhale into namaste. Take a little rest and breathing here. Maybe you notice the heart's beating a little faster. The breath might be coming a little more deeply here. Let's go ahead and inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, pendulate times 3. Inhale and exhale. Inhale Exhale, each time getting a little bit bigger, inhaling, whatever that looks like for your body. Exhaling, bring it down. Inhale, press through the feet to Ardha Urdhva. Exhale into a twist. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arm back to the center. Other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, keep the spine long as you twist. Don't bend over when you twist. Inhaling back up through the center. Exhaling back down. Now both arms, if you can, or one arm, wide arc. Inhaling, exhaling, coming through the center. You're going to take it all the way down through the midline this time, bringing it down. One last inhalation for this round. Exhale, bring it down into namaste. Take a breath or two here. We're going to keep going. If at any time you need to sit one out, feel free. Otherwise, we'll probably do a couple more, maybe do 3 more or so. So inhale here, or 108 more since it's spring. No, I won't do 108, don't worry. All right, inhaling here, exhaling down. Inhaling, pendulate times 3. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhaling. Start feeling this rhythm. And if it feels better to move in your own little sun salutation, go ahead and do that too. Maybe you're syncing up the breath, maybe you're not. Let it become smooth. So one move begins right on the tail of the other move. So now you're kind of just flowing. Maybe it's even a little meditative. Sweeping the arms. Coming all the way through the center this time. Sweeping the arms. Coming to namaste for a couple of recovery breaths. Here we go again, inhaling, exhaling. 3 pendulates, 1, and exhale. 2, and exhale. 3, any amount. Remember, your movements don't need to be as big as mine unless that feels really good. 1 arm up, exhale, twist. Arm comes back up and down. Other side, 1 arm up. Exhale, twist. 1 arm up. Exhale, back down. Wide arc. Come through the center. Feel the midline like you're drawing a line through the center. You're going to take it all the way down this time and swoop it up. Sweep it up one more time. Coming down into namaste for a couple of breaths. We'll take 1 more. If your goose is cooked, now is the time to take a break. Go up, make yourself a cup of tea, have a drink of water. Breathing, inhaling, exhaling. 3 pendulations. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale. Let the body feel what it's like to move with a little bit of grace, with a little bit of fluidity here. And you're saying, oh, my body could never move with grace and fluidity. Well, what the heck? Maybe you're doing it right now. We all have the chance to be visited by grace. Go to the other hand, coming up and across. And one last time, up and down. Two more wide arcs here. Inhaling up, coming through the center, whatever that looks like to you, all the way through the center, and then arcing one last time. Make this one a good one. And come on down through the center. Now resting with the hands in the namaste position or down on your knees, whatever feels safest and most stable for you. Notice again what you feel in the body. That was a lot of movement. We did some good sun salutations. Well done, everybody. We were moving there. Let the body rest in this. If your hands are in namaste, go ahead and let them down to your thighs now, either palms facing up or down. Remember, notice the sensation of resting with your palms up, if you're able to do that, versus resting with the palms down. So take a couple of breaths with the palms up and notice what you feel in the body. Maybe soften the eyes a little bit. What's happening to the breath here? What's happening to the openness in the chest when you leave the palms facing up? Now turn the palms facing down. And again, gently study what happens in the body as you turn the palms down. Does anything change? Does it feel just the same? Maybe, maybe not. You just notice. Again, observing without judgment. That's what we do. The observing we get pretty good at in our yoga practice. The judgment, not so much. We need some work on the judgment. So, take these simple things. There's no judgment with turning your palms up or down. So one more time, palms up to your capacity. If your palms don't turn up well, just have the palms facing one another. Play with different positions. Breathing here. And then turn the palms down one more time. Gently ground the palms onto the thighs here with a very, very gentle pressure. Just a little tiny pressure into the thighs. Now gradually begin to increase that pressure of the hands on the thighs. Let it translate all the way down through the inner leg to the inner heel. Now let that continue translating out along the course of the inner side of the foot, of each foot. And maybe around the toes all the way to that back heel. So we're almost drawing, outlining the body here with a little bit of gentle pressure through the long bones of the lower legs here. Notice if the shoulders have crept up into shoulder earrings, and if they have, drop the shoulders down even as you maintain this gentle pressure through the knees. As you do this, lengthen the spine, dropping down through the sitting bones. Long spine here, really long spine. Placing the head right on top of the shoulders. Breathe into the whole thing now. Bring in the whole body, the whole torso, the whole kitchen sink, as I like to say. Couple of good breaths here. Good. And then release. Shake it out if that feels good. Let the arms move around a little bit. Move to the side. Our bodies were made to move. We need to let the body shake it up and let the body move a little bit. All right, let's do a little bit of a back bend. So I want you to be safe and comfortable with this. So I'm going to move toward the back of my chair. I'm actually going to put blanket on the back of my chair because that makes it a little more comfortable for me. So move to where you're comfortable. If you're sitting on a couch, you'll want to move, maybe back toward the couch cushions a little bit. I'm a little distance from the back of my chair, but it's up to you. Wherever you want to be. It often feels good to have a little bit of support, as long as your legs are still supported too. If your feet come off the ground with this, then you're going to need to move forward, because I really want you to feel very very grounded in this position. So let's go ahead and take our hands and put them, on the sides of the chair, or on the armrests of your wheelchair, wherever you can get some grounding through the arms and through the shoulders. And then I'm just going to put mine are almost under my legs, actually, in this kind of skinny chair here. So my hands are almost under my legs a little bit here. And I just want you to gently begin to press down. So let's press down through our hands and unweight the spine just a little bit. And if it's hard to press through here, go ahead and make a fist and press down through your fists. So, and again, if this isn't comfortable in either position of the hands, then simply don't do it, of course. All right, so we're pressing down. We're letting the spine lengthen a little bit. Take the shoulder blades down, however. So again, those shoulders aren't moving up toward the ears. Press a little bit more if you can, and see if you can feel the scoop of the lower abdominals as you press up, and then let everything relax, but keep the length in the spine. As much as you can, keep the length in the spine. And then same thing again, let's go ahead and press down, anchor the feet as much as you can. I got to move out a little bit so my feet are on the ground. There we go. So pressing down, lengthening the spine, taking the shoulder blades down the back. And remember, you can be doing any or all of this. If it doesn't work for you to press down through your hands, you can simply lengthen the spine and take the shoulders down the back. Once again, balance the head on top of the shoulders, and notice if you're holding your breath. And if you are, please start breathing. It's always good to keep breathing, especially when you're in yoga class. It's actually good to keep breathing all the time, but what the heck. And then release it back down. Good. Lovely. All right, so now let's take our hands and bring them down by our sides. Let's get in a nice long Tadasana torso, or mountain pose torso. So remember that sensation of lengthening in our spine that we were just working on, but now we're in Tadasana, so we don't have any weight through the arms, the elbows, the hands, or anything at this point. And let's go ahead and drop down through those sitting bones and begin to turn the palms out again, kind of like we did at the beginning of class. So we're going to turn those palms out, revisit that sensation of grounding down through our sitting bones and lifting the chest. Maybe you look up just a tiny bit, just with the eyes at this point. And then bring it all down. Don't tilt the head back yet. Let's keep the head right kind of center, but we're going to work with the eyes first, and then we'll decide you'll decide if you want to look up. All right, so pressing down through the feet, feeling the sitting bones, feeling that little scoop up in those lower abdominal muscles maybe. Let's start by lengthening the spine just like we did. So long spine here, shoulder blades down the back. Go ahead and begin to turn the palms out any amount. Maybe the palms begin to face the walls to our sides. Begin to lift the sternum just a bit, and just moving the eyes, look up. Take a breath here. And then bring it on down. Let it release. Go ahead and give yourself a little break. All right, one more time. Now this time, if you'd like to take the head back and go into a little deeper back bend, you can. You can stay right where we are, or if it feels good to lean back in and actually take the chest open, we'll do a couple of those too. Otherwise, do exactly what we've been doing, simply lengthening the spine with a little look up of the eyes. So you decide at what level you'd like to, or at what part of the progression you're going to stop for your own body's sake. All right, so let's go ahead and drop down through the sitting bones. go ahead and begin to turn the hands a little bit here. Lift that chest. Now keep that chest lifted and bring the hands to the chair. So you've got something very solid to anchor yourself from. And then if you wish to go back over the chair, you can. If you wish to look up a little bit, you can. If it helps to keep one hand behind your head like it does for me, I'm going to always choose that. And then slowly release and come on out. I am not a big fan of head dangling. I am not a big fan of head dangling. Everybody has their own comfort zone. For me, that's a really uncomfortable position to have my head dangling. So I almost always use something behind my head. You can decide what you want to do depending on what you're comfortable with. Let's do one more, and then we'll be finished with our back bends. So let's go ahead, press down through your feet. Let yourself anchor through those sitting bones. You've got a really nice base here. Let's open the chest by rolling those arms out, keeping the chest open. I'm going to bring my hands back for some support here. Lean back into the chair if you're using the chair. Keep those feet connected to the floor. Inhale and lift. And if you wish to use one or both hands, be supporting your head, feel free to do that. Or keep your head level and your gaze forward. And everybody, no matter what position you decide to take on this today, go ahead and come on back to the center. Whew, be in the center. Notice what those back bends do in the body. They tend to be invigorating. So let the body land here. Let the breath land in the body. And we'll take one more little twist and then head into Shavasana. I'm going to move back up to the edge of my chair. You decide where you're safest at this point. We'll take just a little twist. So I'm going to take one hand and put it on the inside of my knee, and take my other hand and put it out on the edge or the top of my thigh. So it's out by my knee here. All right, so I have one hand on the inside of that knee, and I have the other hand on the top of my thigh, and I'm simply going to slide my hand back and let that begin to twist. And the hand on my knee might scoot forward a little bit. Keep that space in between the shoulders here. Take a couple of nice breaths. That front shoulder may have wanted to jut out very far. So if it did, gently draw that shoulder blade back in. Drop down through the sitting bones to lengthen the spine here. One more breath. And then slide that hand back forward, slide the other hand back, and be in the center. And then let's go the other way. So I'm going to take my other hand, put it on the inside of my knee. Take this hand, whatever hand that's not on the inside of your knee, put it on the edge of your knee, out here. Shoulders belong to the back, down through the sitting bones, long spine. Let's inhale. And as we exhale, sliding that hand back along the thigh to let the body twist the opposite direction. Notice again if you've fallen into the low back and drop down through your sitting bones and your feet for a good base in this pose. Notice if that front shoulder is crept forward and draw that shoulder blade into the back. Soft breath here. And then release with an exhalation, come forward, very good. And then just let the whole body roll it out one more time. Sideways, back and forth, whatever feels good, rolling the shoulders one way and then the other, but doing it really gentle now as we start moving toward the end of the class. We don't want to stimulate our nervous system too much at this point. We want to let it kind of quiet down a bit. So a little bit of movement. And then let's settle back into a shavasana position. So whatever position you'd like to take for shavasana today, go ahead and get into that position now. Could simply be sitting back on your chair, allowing the back of the spine to be supported, fully supported. Sometimes people like to come forward onto a table or onto a pillow. I'll let you decide what feels right for you. Palms can be facing up or down, whatever feels most grounding or most nourishing for you at this point. And so make any final adjustments that you need to make now. And then let yourself settle into shavasana. Soft eyes, soft inside of the mouth, soft inside of the ears. Notice where the body's at now. Let the body land in this position. Nowhere to go, nothing to fix right now. Let the softness and the support of this position be a source of nourishment. Allow the skin of the forehead to softly descend down toward the bridge of the nose. Let the skin of the temples and the cheeks release. And then slowly moving through the body, releasing the skin along the neck, covering the heart in the cave of the heart. Letting that softness spill over into the shoulders and elbows. Making its way down through the palms and the fingers. Let that softness continue, almost like it's unfurling down the course of the front, the sides, and the back of the torso. Down through the pelvis, and then again spilling over in to the thighs, over the knees, down through the calves and shins, and then out through the soles of the feet and the toes. Soft breath, soft body here. Now slowly begin the process of coming out of Shavasana. Maybe blink the eyes open, gently letting the light come back in with a few slow, leisurely blinks. The breath might come just a tiny bit deeper as you slowly bring yourself back. And then gently, if you wish, if you can, bringing your hands together in the midline as we end our practice with gratitude, being grateful for being able to share in this practice today with this community. Namaste. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks, Amy.